The hardest leaders to spot are often the best ones, the ones who don't need to shout to be heard because their presence seeps into everything around them. They don't crave the spotlight or desperate applause. They move quietly, but the world shifts around them. And if this feels like a puzzle, like asking why the most powerful forces are sometimes hidden, it taps right into the pain most leaders wrestle with but rarely admit. The feeling that despite all the noise, the bluster, the endless race for validation, something crucial slips away. The question lurking deep down is, what if the way we've been taught to lead is all wrong? What if the leaders who truly change the game, the ones who break the chains that bind us, are the ones you don't even notice? This isn't about charisma or flashy titles. It's about something so primal and raw that it terrifies those who depend on old power. It's about the leaders who don't have to command because their influence flows from authenticity and quiet mastery. Those who don't compete for attention but are relentlessly present in every decision, every challenge, every silent heartbeat of a movement. If you're grinding away in your startup, wrestling with investors who don't see your vision, leading teams burdened with protocols instead of passion, this is for you. Because this invisible leadership is the antidote to all that heavy noise, confusion, and the soul-crushing chaos you face every single day. You've tried being loud, posting, pitching, convincing. You've worn the armor of confidence when inside you wonder if any of it matters. You didn't wake up to build just another business or follow the well-lit path worn by thousands before you. You want impact, deep change. You want to forge something real that others can't even imagine. But here's the brutal truth. The world's script for leadership, it's broken. It forces everyone to sound the same, compete on the same stage, and chase trophies that aren't yours to win. That noise? It blinds the world to what real power looks like. And that power? It's often silent. Imagine for a moment a leader who doesn't shout over the room but listens until the room itself whispers back. Who doesn't push, but draws others toward a shared vision with such clarity that resistance collapses? Who doesn't chase approval, because they don't live in the approval economy? This leader isn't easy to find, because underneath all the noise, guts, and glamour, leadership has become a brand to sell instead of a force to unleash. But it's there, quiet, steady, waiting. This invisible leadership moves not by ego, but by a fierce inner knowing and a refusal to become another echo in the crowd. And this is where liberation begins, when leadership stops performing and starts being. When leaders stop selling who they think they should be and start embodying who they truly are. It hurts to admit that most leadership advice out there misses this. It's full of tactics to grab attention, to inspire crowds with big speeches, to stack profiles with fancy credentials. But if that's hitting your core with frustration and exhaustion, it's because you sense the emptiness behind those tactics. Because deep down, leadership is a form of freedom. Not the freedom to be loud, but the freedom to be sovereign. The freedom to act, decide, and create without waiting for permission. And this freedom isn't about being seen. It's about being felt in every fiber of what you do, and most importantly, in who you are beneath the surface. So where do you start if you want to be that kind of invisible leader? First, stop. Stop trying to fit yourself into the leadership mold dictated by others. Stop measuring success by applause or follower counts or quarterly results alone. Instead, come back to what fuels you, the messy, raw purpose that doesn't care about likes or shares, but wakes you up at 3 a.m. with fire in your veins. That's the starting point. Because when leadership begins with fierce self-honesty, something shifts inside. You stop hunting for validation and start wielding your will like a weapon. Not to dominate, but to carve your own path and create space for others to rise. Now listen carefully. Mastering invisibility isn't about hiding. It's about removing everything that blocks your real influence. It's stripping away the noise, the ego, the desperate need to prove yourself, so what's left moves through silence but hits like a thunderclap. This takes guts. It means being willing to be misunderstood, ignored, or underestimated. It means embracing isolation not as a curse, but as the rare ground where transformation grows. Because the truth is, the world isn't designed to nurture rare brilliance. It rewards mediocrity and punishes those who burn differently. But the invisible leader doesn't play that game. They move outside it, beyond it, and in doing so, open doors for what's next. New ideas, new ways of organizing, new revolutions in how humans connect and create. And here's something critical. Invisible leadership thrives on deep connection, but not with the many, with the few. Not the crowd, not the masses, but the rare individuals who spark with the same unruly fire. The misfits, the bold, the rebellious. This is the power most leaders overlook. They build networks full of noise, followers, friends, fans, when the real leverage lies in forging brutal, honest, complementary alliances with a handful who push you past your limits and open doors you didn't even know existed. Those connections aren't a nice to have. They are the lifeblood of radical change, because no one breaks free alone. Freedom is contagious, but only in tight, fierce circles where trust runs deep and judgment doesn't exist. What does this mean for you right now? Struggling with the weight of expectations, the endless grind, the impossible choices? It means this: you have to let go. Let go of being seen to lead. Let go of performing to please. Stop running the race you never signed up for. Instead, craft your influence quietly and ruthlessly. Show up fully, decide fiercely, and move with integrity that doesn't depend on approval. Take time to be alone, not lonely. To think, to reset, to sense what's really true beneath the surface. Because invisible leadership is a practice, not a result. It's a daily habit of stepping back and yet stepping deeper. It's knowing when to act and when to hold space. It's patience in a world screaming for instant results. Most leaders fail not because they lack talent, but because they surrender to the noise, to the false metrics, to the fake promises of comfort. They try to become loud enough to drown out the chaos around them, but the chaos only gets louder. Invisible leaders? They do the opposite. They find the calm inside the storm. They create ripples that become tsunamis without ever being the loudest voice in the room. That calm is their strength. That rippling is their power. And the world needs more of that strength right now than ever. You might wonder if this kind of leadership can be learned, taught, or copied. The answer is no. It cannot be mimicked because it's not a mask. It's surrender and mastery combined. It's a relentless commitment to unfold yourself beyond limits society and systems have imposed. It's a fierce refusal to accept anything less than your full potential, however misunderstood or isolated that path may feel. It's a decision to be sovereign, to own your vision, your will, your power, even if it means walking alone for a while. The most dangerous leaders today are the invisible ones because they rewrite the rules quietly, creating new realities from the edge, beyond comfort zones, beyond easy consensus. They are the ones who don't wait for permission because they know permission is an illusion. This is leadership stripped to its essence, raw, unfiltered, unstoppable. If you want to find them, look past the noise, past the spotlight, past the predictable stories. Look where the world whispers in code, where decisions are made with certainty, not broadcast with fanfare. It's tempting to doubt yourself and reach once more for the familiar applause, the visible trophies, the easy path. But don't. Because real leadership, not the kind sold in books or conferences, but the kind that changes lives, disrupts systems, and frees people, starts with something invisible. A choice to be undeterred, a commitment to authenticity, and the courage to move unseen but always felt. When that choice is made, every challenge becomes fuel, every setback a lesson, every moment an opportunity to deepen your power, not by shouting louder, but by standing firmer. This invisible leadership is an act of rebellion against a world that wants you to be ordinary, compliant, and quiet in a different way. It's a call to rise up, to burn with purpose, to be part of a movement that refuses to scale noise and instead amplifies essence. This is not a popularity contest, not a race to the top. It's a gathering of the few who dare to become more, stronger, freer. It's a network where misaligned brilliance finds aligned power, where misunderstood individuals find connection, synergy, and a path forward together. Founders, investors, builders, visionaries, each a signal, each a spark. If you feel that restless tension inside, the quiet scream that says you were made for more, not a borrowed life, not the comfortable lie, then this is where liberation begins. Not by changing the world at large, but by changing yourself first so you can unleash those who will change it. This is leadership beyond visibility, beyond ego, beyond noise. This is leadership in its truest, rawest form. Invisible yet undeniable. Quiet yet unstoppable. Smarter than the chaos, stronger than the doubts, freer than the lies. This leadership is not just needed, it is essential. So dare to go beyond what you see. Dare to lead without being seen. The world is waiting not for louder voices, but for deeper presence. The real revolution isn't on stages or in headlines. It's inside the silence where invisible leaders breathe, build, and break the shape of the future. If you want to be one of them, start now. Strip away everything that's not you. Find your rare few. Own your power. Move quietly, but move powerfully. Because the best leaders? They're already here. The invisible ones who don't just survive, but remake what's possible. And the question is not if you will be one of them, but when. Remember, leadership isn't about being seen, it's about being felt. And being felt means changing everything without ever needing to say a word.